Here? Now? Afraid so. You know those boys well? Well enough to know I don't much care what happens to them, but I don't see myself sitting back while you kill 2 men in my place of business. I'd told him they'd raped her, but the 2 men in the booth had killed my mother. I'd done a lot of planning, taken some serious risks, and had driven a long way to get revenge. The man standing in front of me had done nothing to me, but I wasn't going to let him stop me from doing what I'd come there to do. If I had to kill him too, I was prepared to do so and chalk it up to unavoidable collateral damage. I'm not asking you to sit back. I'm asking you to take a little trip to the bathroom, I said. There'll be some noise. Wait until the noise dies down and then come back and call the police. But take your time about it. Tell them you went into the bathroom and heard shooting start. You were afraid to come out. When you finally came out, they were dead. Why would they rape your mama? He said. It's a long story, something you don't need to hear. Those boys are going to die in the next couple of minutes. You can either go into the bathroom or you can die with them. Why should I believe you? You don't have to believe me, but fate has put you and me and them in this bar together at this moment, and something is about to happen. What if I pull this sawed-off shotgun out from under the bar and blow your head off with it? You better be quick, I said. He stared at me again for a long minute. His expression changed to one of resignation, and I watched him make his decision. He began slowly walking around the bar. He walked behind me, past Fraser and Bean, to the end of the bar, turned left, and disappeared behind a black door that said, Restrooms. By this time, Merle Haggard's song was done playing and Johnny Cash was singing Folsom Prison Blues. I got up off the bar stool, took a deep breath, and was surprised I wasn't more nervous. I pulled the Beretta and hid it behind my back. I flipped the safety off and walked up to the booth. Bean was to my left with a cigarette hanging from his lips. He looked just like the photo I'd been given. Elvis Presley hair and sideburns, dark eyes, thick neck. Fraser had a dark blonde ponytail and greenish blue eyes. Both of them had tattoos on their necks and on their hands. Their arms were covered with shirt sleeves, but I was sure they were also covered in prison tats. I looked them over for a couple of seconds before Fraser said, "What the fuck you looking at, boy?" Without saying a word, I put 3 rounds into Bean's chest. The noise inside the small bar was deafening. Bean melted into the booth, blood already oozing from his shirt. Fraser froze and looked up at me, his eyes wild with fear. I didn't feel a bit of sympathy for him or for the man I'd just shot 3 times. My heart rate was steady. My hands weren't shaking. More than anything else, and for the first time in a long time, I felt in control. "My name is Darren Street," I said to Fraser. "Ring a bell?" I pointed the Beretta at his forehead as his eyebrows raised and an oh shit look came over his face. "This is from my mother." Those were the last words Donnie Fraser heard. I pulled the trigger, and a hole opened up between his eyes. I shot him 7 more times and then put 4 more rounds into Bean to make sure he was dead. The Beretta locked open on the slide, indicating the gun was empty. I stuck the pistol in my waist and walked out the door. I walked quickly to my car but didn't run. I got in, fired up the Monte Carlo, and headed out of town toward Tennessee, the same way I'd come in. An hour and a half later, I pulled into a mostly deserted rest stop off the interstate, near Charleston, West Virginia. I walked into the restroom, took a look in the mirror, and realized I had small dots of blood spatter on my gloves, glasses, and forehead. I was sure it was on my jacket and fake beard, too, but it wasn't noticeable. I found myself reluctant to wash it off. Having Fraser's and Bean's blood all over me gave me a visceral feeling of power. It felt like war paint, and I wanted to wear it.